Hello, hello, hello. What's up, guys? It's Sammy, aka PC Plod, and today we've got some Black Ops gameplay. This is a bit of sticks and stones. Spoiler alert, I don't actually win, but I do have a pretty good game, and you all know what sticks and stones is like. You play an awesome game, and you just get unlucky at the very end, and that's it, you completely lose. But anyway, this is going to be the 5 best things about Black Ops, the original Black Ops. This was Treyarch's sort of redeeming game, really, because a lot of people didn't like World at War. But this was a pretty popular game, and a lot of people still like it to this day. And, people have refused to play other Call of Duties and just stuck with this one. So over and all, it's a pretty good Call of Duty. I really enjoyed it, one of my favourites. There are obviously people that don't like it, but you really can't please anyone. Anything you change, some are going to like it, some aren't. So anyway, first thing I'm going to say is, number 5 I guess we call this, is interesting weapons. Namely the ballistic knife and the crossbow. This is where it all started, and I just thought it was really cool. They were not particularly effective weapons, but you always have that option there if you want to try something a little bit more challenging, or just make it a little bit more difficult for yourself, a little bit more fun. And the game is about having fun at the end of the day. Not everyone plays the game just to get as high kills as possible. Like, I enjoyed sort of handicap myself a little bit using the ballistic knife or the crossbow. So it's pretty cool, and it all pretty much started here. But to be honest, the rest of the weapons weren't really that interesting, but I'll get into that in the next video. So number 4 on my list is going to be zombies, and I know this isn't the first game we had zombies, but some of the maps on here I just thought were absolutely amazing. Like Ascension, when that came out, I was so excited for it. I remember me and like 3 of my mates would just like played that all day the day it came out. I just thought it was so good. The way it all worked was really perfect. It's still to this day probably one of my favourite zombies maps, apart from maybe Die Rise, I don't know. But yeah, there was some really good Zombies DLC. Started to get a little bit sort of... I didn't really like the direction it was heading towards the end of the life of Black Ops, but the way it started out and the 2 maps that you started off with I thought was really cool as well. So that's going to be number 4 for me. Now the 3rd one on my list is party games, because woohoo, party! Who loves to party? Everyone, of course, right? So in case you didn't know, there's 4 party game modes. There's Sticks and Stones, which is what I'm playing right now. There's Gun Game, where you start off with like a progression of guns, so you start off with like a pistol and you got to work your way through every weapon, and finally you finish with a crossbow and then the ballistic knife. That's pretty fun. Then you got Sharpshooter, which is kind of like a game where you have everyone has the same weapon, and then every 45 seconds it switches over. So it could be for 45 seconds you have a ballistic knife, next then you have akimbo pistols, then you have a sniper rifle, and it's random every time. That's kind of cool. I kind of enjoyed that game just because it puts everyone on an even keel. Everyone's pretty much in the same boat. Obviously you got spawns making a slight difference and stuff, but it's everyone's using the same weapon, so you can't really say, oh, that class is overpowered, and it's just like a laugh. Nobody plays these games too seriously to win. And finally, the last one is One in the Chamber, whereas you have a gun with 1 bullet in the chamber, and you've got to shoot people to kill. If you shoot them or stab them, you get another bullet, but if you lose that bullet, that's it. You've got to try and stab them, to get the kill. And also, you've only got 3 lives, so once you get a kill, once you're out, that's it for the whole game. That one is probably my least favourite of all of them. My most favourite being Sticks and Stones. I just love just running around with the ballistic knife, because to be honest with you, the ballistic knife is a hell of a lot better than the crossbow. I used to play using the crossbow. And also, one thing I did forget to mention is that if you get tomahawked, then you get set back. I'm sure most of you know this because you've all played Black Ops 2, and it's pretty much the same as that. But there are slight differences. In this game, there was only 6 players, and the maps were made smaller. Strangely, firing range I don't think is made smaller, but a lot of the bigger maps had sections cut off. And also you had wager matches. You could always gamble your card points, so you'd earn card points as you go through the game, and then you could use them to... You sort of gamble against other people. I didn't really bother with that because, to be honest with you, the card points is not even money, so there's no point. And it was fun for some people because, it kind of gave you a bit of an edge. Like, you could sort of face off against some other people, and usually they were quite good, so it gave you a bit of a challenge if you really wanted to. Or you could just, gamble for like 10 points, which did absolutely nothing. So next on my list, which would be number 2, is the fact that they removed stopping power. Like, a lot of people didn't like this, but the reason I liked it is because stopping power kinds of mess with the balance of the guns and everything. Like, some guns got a bit more of a boost out of it, some didn't really get much. It kind of makes it difficult to balance as well. Like, that's why I was glad that it was gone. And also the fact that, because it was such a useful perk, that people wouldn't use other perks. So in this game, a lot of people use cold-blooded, which a lot of people didn't like, you know what I'm saying? And Flak Jacket, which I used to have a lot because God knows after Modern Warfare 2 I really needed it. Which kind of leads me to the final one, first and final, would be the fact that explosives took a massive nerf in this game. I think this is probably the game where the explosives, they really balanced, I think, in this game overall. Also, the fact that C4 was equipment, and you couldn't just throw it like you can in Black Ops 2 and Modern Warfare 3. You actually had to get it out and throw it. So it kind of, to me, made it more like C4 should be. It shouldn't be like a quick react weapon. It's really a weapon you have to think about to use in advance. And in general, they also nerfed explosives a hell of a lot, and there was no danger close. And Flak Jacket was stupendously effectively in this game. Like, some people complained it was overpowered, but personally, I think the explosives can be cheap. They can be. I think that they should be really used to try and get people out of cover and stuff. But to be honest with you, if they don't do much damage, like in Modern Warfare 3, they really didn't do too much damage. I've kind of just ignored them. If they were like, I just move a little bit to the left, so it didn't really bother me. But I really think they got the balance right with the explosives, and that's probably why I'd rate this as one of my most favourite Call of Duties. So anyway, guys, annotations at the end are going to have links to the whole playlist of the 5 best things and the 5 worst things about every Call of Duty. Should have the worst coming out very soon. And thank you for watching, and feel free to let me know in the comments the best things you like most about Black Ops, and if you disagree with anything I said, because it's all subjective. And thank you for watching, guys. I'll speak to you next time. Bye bye now. Bye bye.